Are you trying and failing to get a date? Do you think there's something you're not doing or something you're doing wrong? There is a chance that you could be displaying huge red flags without knowing it. And that's why the women, aren't flocking towards you. But don't worry, we've got you covered. Like and subscribe. So, what's a red flag? Now, I imagine a lot of guys could get confused because they may not know what this is. But basically, it's a behavior, a trait, a characteristic, or a mannerism that somebody does that would indicate a toxic meaning behind it. When you first meet someone and fall in love with them, you might experience what people used to refer to as rose-tinted glasses, which essentially means that in your eyes, your potential partner can do no wrong at all. However, it also implies that any red flags they fly will have the rose colour added to them, making them look like regular flags. There are often warning signs or red flags that this person isn't the right partner for you and isn't loving, supportive, or emotionally stable. So in order for us to help you to not be a walking red flag, let us take a walk down the Rose Tintedville and discover the most common red flags that women actively avoid from the get-go. Concept of time. This red flag, also known as love bombing, isn't necessarily about the new partner who declares their love too quickly or who wants to live together after only 5 dates. Love bombing turns into a concern when one person is trying to manipulate the other into a situation of dependency, using phrases like "I can't live without you" or attempting to distance themselves from you out of ferocious affection are extremely worrying signs. The distinction between appropriate affection and unhealthy love bombing should be kept in mind. Those who display this red flag are more concerned with being in a relationship than with who they are in a relationship with. To them, it's more of a gap to be filled than a person who fits into the shaped hole. They don't want to be alone, nor do they know who they are when they are alone. Also, men may fall in love with single women in order to move in with them rather than with their parents. Excessive drinking. Everybody enjoys going out on the town occasionally to relax, let loose, and dance the night away. But if the partying starts on a Friday after work and lasts until Sunday night, it raises relationship red flags. If you spent the entire weekend drinking and using drugs with your friends, how would your relationship evolve and grow? If you work all week and party all weekend, neither you nor your relationship has that room to grow. Addiction to substances can also be signs of problems with impulse control and self-awareness, which can quickly turn into a dangerous habit for the victim and their partner. It can cost you money, your job, sometimes even your life. It is important to recognize that partying every weekend can be harmful, both in the short and long term. Ill manners. Our parents or guardians teach us the distinction between yes and no, as well as right and wrong, from the moment we are born. So when we reach the appropriate age for dating, you wouldn't anticipate your partner having trouble with something as basic as manners. When women first start dating, one of the first qualities they assess in a potential partner is his use of manners. Opening doors for people, expressing gratitude when doors are open for them, and treating people with respect at all times are just a few examples. Your language and interpersonal interactions reveal a lot about who you are as a person. Sometimes people don't realize that they come across as rude to other people, so this may not be the easiest flag to spot in yourself. So the best way to go about this would be to speak to others as you would like them to speak to you. Treat them with the same kindness and respect that you would like to receive back. Different rules. Imagine coming home after a long day at work to discover that your dinner hasn't been prepared, the house isn't tidy, or something you expected to get done hasn't been done. Would you find your partner annoying? Have they also been working all day? They have, but you're still irritated. I see. So now that you are home, do you intend to prepare dinner? No. If you expect your partner to do something but would not do it for her, you are displaying a double standard, which is a huge red flag. A rule or principle that is unfairly applied in different ways to different people or groups is what the term double standard refers to. A huge red flag is when a guy does something, or in this case doesn't, but doesn't like it if their partner does it as well. This is often seen as an example of a double standard where one gender is held to different standards than the other. Now, having this outlook may not have been originally your fault. It's something taught to different genders from a young age, but it is your job now as a grown man to unlearn toxic traits and to educate yourself. Green eye. We've all seen the stereotypical attractive, overly possessive and jealous guys that women swoon over in Hollywood movies and rom-com books. Guys like Christian Grey go above and beyond to control what their girl can and cannot wear, speak, do and say. The majority of the time though, this is incredibly unattractive and a huge warning sign for almost all women. Being in a relationship with someone who is constantly jealous to the point of picking you up and leaving you in public places not only breeds awkwardness and uncertainty about what they will do next, but it also has other negative consequences. It can lead to a feeling of insecurity and fear in the relationship, as well as codependency on the part of the woman, who might feel like she cannot be her true self and have her own life taken away by her partner. So, if you want to avoid being that jealous guy, communicate any insecurities you may have rather than come across as condescending later on. Controlling. To be in a relationship with someone who enjoys having complete control over your actions, your daily activities, and who you speak to while you are together sounds like a life that would be extremely unhappy and miserable. A woman will start to become increasingly turned off by you and leave the moment a guy begins to act in a controlling manner. Controlling behavior is similar to trying to decide what your partner should eat at a restaurant, how much they can spend on something, or what they should wear in public. It's not just the big things either. Controlling behavior can be seen in little things like telling your partner what kind of makeup they should wear or which colour shirt looks best on them. Such controlling behavior is not only a huge red flag in any relationship, but it can also lead to negative effects such as low self-esteem, increased stress levels and unhappiness. So remember, if she wanted to be told what to do 24 hours a day, she could have just stayed at home with her parents. Narcissism. A narcissist is someone who has an exaggerated sense of self and thinks that others should regard them as superior. Unfortunately, a narcissist will go out of their way to physically, emotionally, and mentally abuse their partner in order to completely undermine their confidence and make them feel worthless and ineffective. Of course, this is a huge red flag that sometimes does take a lot of time, sometimes years to uncover. When a victim is in the center of the storm, they may not be aware of the narcissist's behavior because narcissists have a way of controlling your thoughts to make you believe that everything that goes wrong is your fault. It is only after the storm has passed and the victim has taken a step back from the situation that they can begin to see the narcissist's manipulative behavior and understand why they have been feeling so insecure. Now, everyone has characteristics that some people may find annoying, but that doesn't mean that just because someone doesn't like something that it's a bad sign. This is definitely not the case. It's acceptable when two people just don't get along. For your own personal growth, you can unlearn some things and educate yourself on others to help you better understand. While I'm sure every woman has her own list of dating red flags to watch out for, the vast majority of women we spoke to said that the ones we've mentioned are genuinely a no-go. So would you work on yourself to become a better version of yourself if you took just a few moments to look in the mirror and notice that maybe you do have a hint of these traits in your personality? Or do you prefer to ignore the red flags and just go ahead as you please? I really hope the answer is the first one. I will see you soon.